What's up, everybody? I'm your host, PrettyGrlJu, and before we get into Baddies East Reunion Part 3 recap, we are going to go ahead and do a little icebreaker. So my question to you all is, if you were out and about and just so happened to see your friend's man or woman with someone else, and I do mean in an intimate way, would you report the information to your friend? Why or why not? Me, personally, once upon a time, I would. But I've had that backfire before, and I've also have been questioned or have had questions come up when I've presented proof to people that made me think, okay, you know what, next time I'm just gonna shut my mouth. Like I've sent someone a video of, something inappropriate between their man and someone else, and she told me that it was his sister. So I'm like, okay, so that's even more weird. What type of sister brother dynamic do they have? Because y'all know there are people out here like Kayla and King Von who do, I feel a certain way about their brother. So I'm like, so you're okay with this? I let me mind my business. So that's why I've had situations happen to where I couldn't believe the response that I got when I showed the actual proof. So going forward, I'm just like, you know what? People are grown. Whatever I'm bringing to you about your man, you probably have had a women's intuition about it. So I'm not telling you anything new. I'm only confirming what you've probably already been thinking for weeks or months at a time. Chances are you're not going to leave. So that's honestly number one. You're not going to leave. I'm going to tell you what happened, what I saw. You're going to tell him that I told you. He's going to deny or deflect, curse at you about me being your friend and how I'm messy and getting in y'all business. Is going to want to come in between our friend. I don't have time for that. I don't give a fuck. If someone wants to get cheated on, be my guest. Because if someone were to tell me that and actually show me proof, I am not going to say that that is my man's sibling, because that is just weird. I couldn't even fix my mind. Listen, not trying to say nothing about nobody, but that was just my experience, and that's why I digress. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. Would you report the information? Why or why not? Now, I will say this. If it's a person, if I see my friend's man out with a woman who I know is cool with my friend, like it's supposed to be my friend's homegirl or something, then yes, I'm going to go ahead and tell her, because now you got a shady friend and you got a shady man. They both just wrong all around. So yes, I would say something about that, because chances are if she did have a women's intuition, I would hope she ain't thinking that the women's intuition is with her friend, her man being with her friend. But who knows? Maybe sometimes people do suspect that their men and their friend have something going on, but they just don't want to believe it. They're in denial. But let me know if you've had a situation like that happen to you as well. And let me know how that went, how it turned out. Did you stay with the guy? Did you believe your friend? Like, what happened? But let's go ahead and get into the Baddies East Reunion recap. All right, y'all. First things first, Mariah got beat up by Smiley, and Smiley only had one hand. I don't understand why Smiley stood up to fight after Mariah said she didn't have her chain, like she didn't have only one hand. Nonetheless, Mariah still can't fight, still got whooped. Do y'all believe, though, because I do agree with Mariah when she said you beat your own hand up, you beat yourself up in your trailer so that you didn't have to come out here and fight. I believe that. Now, I believe specifically she beat her own hand up so that she didn't have to come out to fight Tasiki. Because remember, Tasiki was saying she was on Smiley's ass too for jumping in that fight when her, Marsh, and Janet, Krishan's fans, when they got into it. So Tasiki was saying that she saw footage of Smiley jumping in, and because of that, she was on Smiley's ass. So I really do think that Smiley was willing to jeopardize her own life, because who knows, you could have cut an artery, you could have bled out. She was literally jeopardizing her own life to avoid that ass whooping that Tasiki passed to ET. But y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Ain't too much to say on that. Mariah got whooped. She can't fight. Got slung around like a little rag doll. That's that on that. So next we gonna get into Ahna really irritates me. I don't really care for her. Like, I feel like, I don't want to say completely I don't care for her, but I feel like I don't care for her more so than I do. And it used to be the other way around. So on stage, and she's just so flip-floppy. Because if y'all remember, they was on stage and she was like, where ET at? This is at the beginning of this reunion. Where ET at? Where ET at? And Rolly was like, girl, it's so many other people on this stage. Like, why are you worried about one woman? Like, hello. And so then Tasiki started talking, and Tasiki was saying how her and E.T. fought for nothing, and she applauded E.T. because E.T. actually was the only one that got out there and really, got in the paint with her and wasn't scared to, and how E.T. can come out and they can talk. So then after Ahna was, where's E.T.? Where's E.T.? Then Tasiki said what she said. Ahna's like, I don't know what happened between me and E.T. Like, I used to like her, and I just don't know what happened. Like, girl, you didn't just say that not too long ago. You were just looking for her like you had smoke for her. That she's such a follower, and that's why I do not care at all for or too much, I say. I don't care too much for Ahna at all. Do I think that she would have hung with E.T.? I do. Do I think she would have whooped E.T.? I don't. And she knows she wouldn't have. That's why we'll get into that. But anyways, as far as Biggie addressing E.T., I feel like Biggie was the only one that actually came and wanted clear answers from the people who hurt her. So I do respect her for actually using the reunion for its intended purpose. However, she was intoxicated, and it caused her to overtalk, not allow these people to speak, and it didn't turn out the way that it could have. It could have turned out better. But nonetheless, I do respect her for at least trying to address her issues and putting that shit out there on the floor. So as she's addressing E.T., Sapphire one of her ones. Now what blew me about Sapphire is, bitch, you was sitting down. You had your shoes off. You put your shoes on only to square up and say, I can't fight with these shoes. So that tells me you're not a fighter, or you haven't had enough fights to know whether or not you need shoes on or shoes off, because a real fighter gonna know exactly what they need to be able to get down. They gonna know the type of surface they need to be on. They gonna know how it feels on your feet when you're fighting. If you're gonna slide, they gonna know to kick their shoes off, keep them on, switch into some tennis shoes. Like, you're not a fighter. That's just what that is. You can't fight. So let's just call a thing a thing. So you did all of that, kicking your shoes on, throwing water, woo up the bam, only to get your ass whooped. Now, because she got her ass whooped, you can hear Suki talking about we gotta run that back. We gotta run that back. Why? Why do you have to run that back? Because your friend got her ass whooped. And the cameras ain't gonna lie on that. There was no way that they could edit that first round in Sapphire's favor. You got whooped. That's that. And so Suki was upset because she really thought, I feel like she underestimated E.T. They seen how Tasiki beat her up. Sapphire is, taller than E.T., so she does have a little bit of an advantage. So she thought her friend Sapphire was going to do her big one too. Not. So then Suki talked about some, okay, round 2 type shit. Sapphire got her ass sat down. Y'all notice after that round 1, Sapphire came out quiet. She sat on that couch. She ain't say shit. She started taking her attitude out on Rolly. Talking about why you let Natalie get beat up. And Rolly, I do applaud how she handled that. But so she came out and she telling Suki, oh, she got to take the ring off. No. You still got whooped. The swinging is the swinging, the fight. The rings just so happened to be on her hands. You got handled. That's what that was. And so my thing is, Suki, you over here coaching Sapphire on how to come through in round 2. Why didn't you just fight her yourself? Like, she threw the water on you. She was into it with you. So why didn't you get your fade? I don't understand that. And so that was my issue with Suki and Sapphire and that whole, her excuse for, basically, I take it as she was like, oh, she got to take the rings off, as if that's the reason she lost. Like, girl, no, because Sapphire didn't really have no damage. She just got whooped. That is what it is. Now, as Sapphire is fighting, and this is what kind of blew me too. Tasiki did a little bit of flip-flopping as well, because she then tries to jump into the fight. Y'all know when Mariah and E.T. squared up, when they had their final thoughts, when they were going through their final thoughts, and it got to E.T. and E.T. was like, Mariah, Ahna, like, Biggie, y'all want y'all ones? So then Mariah was like, oh, you want to fight me? Like, looking at how Mariah was running up, you could tell she was finna lose. But E.T. really couldn't even fight her, because the minute her and what the girl fucking Mariah slow ass started fighting, you see Tasiki and you see Ahna, you see all of them coming to try to jump in. So yes, they did try to jump her. I do feel like security did a great job of not allowing that, but they did try to jump her. All of a sudden now, Tasiki wants to fight E.T. again. And it's like, girl, you just said y'all fought for nothing, and that you are willing to even sit down and have a conversation with her, to her ones with other people, and you like, oh, now I want to whoop her. I want to fight her. Let me just beat her. Like, for what? You done already fought her 4 rounds. Like, I just feel like if everybody got an issue and she's willing to catch a fade with everybody. Let her get her ones with everybody. She already fought you 4 fucking rounds. You won. Let it go. But the thing was, Tasiki didn't like how she was whooping everybody else's ass around that bitch. So she felt like, man, I'm the only one that can handle her. Let me get her. That's how I personally felt. But what do y'all think about how Tasiki kind of was flip-floppy? Ahna was kind of flip-floppy. I don't know. I don't know what Scarface was saying or E.T. was saying when she was talking about some, y'all don't, I gets in the paint and woo out the bam, and Tasiki like, and she was like, y'all just want to run back. Like, girl, you are supposed to bob and weave. Like, the point of fighting is to not get hit if you can help it. Now, I do agree that you can't be so focused on not getting hit that you don't actually fight, meaning you don't take good opportunities to come in and hit your opponent, because there's a chance when you come in, you could get hit. A lot of people don't want to get hit in the face. Like, let's be real. Who the fuck wants to get hit in the face? Like, bitch, you see how you looking? You looking like you got 2 fucking balloons stuffed in your face. Like, girl, nobody wants to look like that. That's because you was just running in. You just running into the punches, talking about something, I'm eating them. You really are. you definitely, you ate those. I can give you that. You ate them bitches, because, girl, your face shows it. That's why you got beat up like that. You don't know how to, you don't have no strategy. You just going in talking about I get in the paint, and that's fine for you to get in the paint. But you should also know how to bob and weave, girl. Like, come on now. I didn't understand that. Like, girl, you got whooped, and you got whooped because you didn't have no strategy. You fight from like a bitch from the ghetto. You just go in and start swinging. But you're fighting somebody who actually fights with strategy and who actually bobs and weaves. And you can't make it seem as though she wasn't coming in, because look at your face. She had to come in at least a little bit to get close enough to you to beat your face in like that. So what are we talking about? So I just feel like Sapphire was mad that E.T. beat her up. So she came at Rolly talking about why you let Natalie get beat up. I applaud Rolly this whole reunion on how she handled herself. I feel like, for one, she wasn't as drunk as everybody else. But I also felt like that was her being on her P's and Q's, knowing that I'm finna have to come out here and fight. I'm not finna get drunk. Like, hello. So that's one. For 2, it was late as hell. And for 3, I just feel like, I don't know if she really was catching on to the animosity that, or just the tension that Sapphire had towards her. Because even when she squared up to fight E.T. round 1, nobody was finna jump in. Even Rolly was like, no, everybody get back. Like, she like, Rolly, you get back. Like, as if like, girl, you, no, don't try nothing, get back. Like, she was coming at Rolly like that. And so I just kind of was caught by surprise. That caught me by surprise, because after they filmed the reunion, when everybody was talking about how bad E.T. got beat up, Sapphire and Suki was all on live talking about, we fuck with Rolly, and all this and all that. But looking at the reunion now, it doesn't appear that way. But I guess, let me know what y'all think about that. I have a few other things I want to mention, and we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. If you guys are still here, that means you guys are enjoying my recap. So again, my name is Juju, and I'm your host. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. We are currently at 764 subscribers, so up from 748. Special shout out to subscriber number 762 from Hartford, Connecticut. So once you guys subscribe, drop the number subscriber you are in the comment section below, and also tell me where you are from. Don't forget to donate $1 to the Cash App, which is right here on the screen. $1 per view. That's how I get paid. Also, make sure you guys follow me on social media. Instagram, PrettyGrlJu_, Twitter, PrettyGrlJu. Let's go ahead and get back into the rest of this recap, and then we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. Okay, almost finished. So when E.T. was fighting Mariah, they definitely did try to jump her. She did not lie on that. They did try to jump her. Ahna pulled a pussy-ass move when E.T. and Biggie were squaring up. Biggie scary ass didn't bust a grape like we knew she wouldn't. And so then Ahna came through security on some slick shit and bop, 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 real quick. Disappeared. When I tell you disappeared, dis-a-fucking-peared. I never seen magic happen in front of my eyes a day in my life until I just seen her run up on E.T. and disappear. And so soon as that happened, E.T. like, where Ahna? I don't want nobody else. Where Ahna? And I don't blame her, bitch. Where, come on, bring Ahna. When I tell you, she probably asked where Ahna was at least 10 to 15 times. I shit you not. Ahna dis-a-fucking-peared. That was the one time Ahna was talking all that shit about how I was running around snaking mugs and yeah, I was jumping mugs, but she didn't tell everybody before this reunion aired how the fuck she disappeared after she snaked ET. She didn't tell everybody that. See, I don't like when bitches do that. You get on the internet talking all that tough shit like you was doing this and doing that, but when it came time to really get your one in, you didn't want to get it, because all that time her and Biggie wasted talking, because Biggie don't want to do nothing but talk, and then she had the nerve to think that ET was trying to dap her up when ET was like bye, and she did her hand like bye, because it's like, girl, bye, you doing all this talking, you don't want to fight for real, get the fuck up out my face, where's Ahna? And so she thought ET was really trying to dap her up. The whole time ET is dismissing her ass. So I just felt like then Ahna come back towards the end when ET done already left. It's like, girl, you scary as hell. You knew you was finna get your ass whooped. Like, stop playing. And ET was woe the fuck out. You could just look at ET. She was so defeated and so tired, but she was gonna stand 10 toes down, and she wasn't gonna let them bitches see her sweat. So I respect that from her. I respect it about her. So ET clocked Natalie, because as ET was fighting Sapphire, she was beat her out. Ooh, Natalie in the background talking that shit. ET heard that. So she like, yeah, Natalie, and I heard you. Natalie talking about some, what about Natalie? What did Natalie do? That throwing rocks and hiding your hands type shit. Like, girl, you thought just because she was in the middle of a fight, she didn't hear all these people against her talking all this shit? And she like, come on, we can talk. We don't have to fight. What's the problem? What's the problem? That's she was like, you set me up. I didn't set you up. Those are Scotty people. Whoa, explaining herself. Soon as ET leave the stage, because basically we can get it. Ooh, why didn't you say that when she was in your face? Like, I don't get that about Natalie. Then furthermore, you went on to say how she's a broke bum, how she's never coming back. Why didn't you say that to her face though when she was on the stage? Like, come on now, Natalie. Like, you really ain't tough for real, because you was scared to fight ET. I don't care what nobody say. Natalie ain't never sat on that stage that fucking quiet a day in her life on any of her reunions. BGC days, Baddies days, never. Natalie was the quietest we have ever seen her, because her ass was scared. And the minute ET left that stage and she knew ET was gone for good, Natalie started talking big cash shit. That's what Natalie does. Like, girl, you a pussy. Like, are you serious right now? You just seen how ET just got ragtagged by Tasiki, and you still over here scared? Tell me something. I'm not going to fight you because you don't believe that. You don't believe that. No, you're not going to fight her because you're scared. You're scared. Let's just call a thing a thing. But aside from that, she's a joke. Janisa said she had words for some people, but because they had been running around like circus zoo animals, she didn't have time for that. What do y'all think, Janisha? Who do y'all think she was going to address? Because I honestly think she was going to address Scotty. But I felt like Janisha also had 3 reunion episodes to address her. Like, no, let's cut the bullshit. Let's get into the meat and potatoes, because a lot of this shit was going on online, and that's a lot of what people wanted to see and hear. Like, what y'all arguing about, Ahna? What is you and Scotty really arguing about? But I don't know. My final thoughts are Natalie's a pussy, Biggie is scary, Ahna's scary, Tasiki did her big one, ET held her own, Sapphire is a fucking joke. Who else is scary? Suki is scary, because she could have caught that fade with ET and she didn't. Rolly redeemed herself this reunion, and I feel that's part of the reason why she carried herself the way that she did, because the people were already against her, starting petitions to get her kicked off. So I think that the reunion was her redeeming moment. On top of that, she was not drunk, so she really came with some sense this reunion. And that's that on that. So I'm up out of here. Deuces.